Hey YouTube, this is Jason, formerly JL Chambers 82. I've had to give in to the temptations of the new YouTube layout and everything. Don't really like it as much, but anyway, well, here I am after a long absence. Any of you guys that watch my channel that have stuck around that have watched the last few videos that I put up several months ago now know that I keep saying I've had a lot going on. Well, that's been the story of my life for like the last 3 years, but finally things are like coming to an end. Well, not to an end, but everything's finally fallen into place, and it's time to start just getting back to normal regular life. Well, since the last video, one of the most important things that happened, no, it's not one of the most important, it is the most important thing, is that I got married. And I'm glad my wife doesn't watch these videos because I'd be in a shitload of trouble right now. But anyway, I got married in April, actually. And, y'all might have remembered me saying I had two jobs for a little bit to, kind of not focus on games or collect anymore to actually help pay for the wedding. Well, wedding's done. It's over. We have a little bit left to pay for, but not much at all. And I don't work two jobs anymore. I quit my second job, thank God, because I was ready to blow my brains out. I don't recommend two jobs if you don't have to do it. But anyway, after things started kind of settling down after the wedding, May kind of blew by, June kind of blew by. Here we are in July, and I live in Texas. It's fucking hot as shit outside. Even if you go, like, I live close to the Gulf of Mexico. I live in Houston, which is only like 45 minutes away from Galveston, so I can drive to the beach every weekend. But it's fucking hot, and the traffic. We have like one route to get to the fucking beach in Texas, and everyone uses it. So, needless to say, you spend a lot of time indoors. I'm also fair-skinned, and I used to love to be outside a lot more, but with my family, I have a history of that not being very good for us. So I kind of have to, chill a little bit more in the summertime. Actually, stay inside. It's kind of shitty. I definitely am in the wrong state. I think I might need to move up to like Washington or Pacific Northwest. Metal Jesus is up there. Wouldn't be so bad. There's people that like to game. Canada's close by. So. Anyway, not to rant too much about my personal life, but I just wanted to kind of give you a quick overview of why I haven't made videos, what's been going on. As far as collecting and whatnot, I haven't really collected much. I have had a lot of pickups. I'll probably do a pickups video, like on the shelf behind me. There's some things you probably see that have come out since the last time. I actually, am taking advantage of the fact that with the new console announcements and everything, it's a really good time to buy games that you always wanted to buy. So I'm really trying to take advantage of that right now. And I've bought a lot more PC games lately through Steam because it's a cheap way to play, hit titles and not pay full price. Now I have a small, gaming laptop. I don't have a huge gaming rig anymore, but it plays most everything pretty well. So that's how I've been kind of keeping up with games, but I'm really happy that I have more time now to actually sit in my game room and play. I did a couple changes in here, but nothing I'm going to post a video for because it's actually kind of boring. It kind of made the room less cool in a way. I took the Wii U out of my game room and put that on our big TV in the other little living room that we have, where we have a really big DLP TV. It's like a 73-inch DLP. I put the Wii U on there because when people come over, that's really more of a social thing, and my game rooms are so small. I had a really cool game night where I had a bunch of friends and some people from work come by, and we had like 7 dudes in this little room. And one of my friends is an MMA fighter, so he's a big motherfucker, and like I was like, yeah, we got to do something about this. We're going to start splitting people up. So put it in there, and that way we'll kind of have 2 different TVs, to work with. I eventually plan on getting a couple more PlayStation 3s if I find those cheap out in the wild, and setting up different PlayStation networks throughout the house. That way people can kind of game that way. I know what you're all thinking, like, why don't you just whole game from home and the internet? But that's not what it's about. We're none of us play games like that. We're all pretty old school, so we actually like the whole idea of, like, meeting up having beers, a lot of beer actually, and I usually cook a lot of stuff because I'm the chef around here. So I mean, that's pretty much the extent of a lot of my game playing has been reserved for things like that. Playing by myself at home, like what I've been playing. That sounds bad, but anyway, what I've been like playing as far as games and campaigns and whatnot. There's been games I've bought and finished. So there's been other games I've started or whatever, but I haven't really kind of. What I've just been trying to do is just kind of like relax. Like when I'm home, like I'll hang out with my wife a little bit. I'll cook dinner. Every now and then, I'm trying to cut back, so every now and then I'll have a few beers or, a couple drinks or something, and come in my game room and chill out for a little bit. But as of late, I've just been really just kind of trying to do that, just kind of absorb it all and just take it into, and it's funny how quickly time passes. Like, you'd think that'd be boring, over a month or two, like, when you want to get back to playing games, it's like, man, I just come up here and I fucking chill out, relax, and look at my machines, watch a lot of YouTube videos. I've been really trying to catch up on YouTube because I haven't really been able to watch it. So a lot of my favorite channels, they're posting up videos every other day. So that's really, really cool. Really been catching up on that, catching up on the news. And, since I really didn't have any kind of idea what I was going to talk about, I guess the next thing I'll just naturally go into is this is the year of consoles. The new consoles were announced. I know we all have mixed feelings about that. I know we have opinions one way or another. I initially said, in a previous video, I was like, oh, I'm not going to be buying consoles this year. Well, I know me, I know I'm going to do it. I bought a Wii U and a Vita when it came out, and I really I did not plan on buying either one of them, really. So I made some arrangements, and I did free up some money for that, so I have that money reserved. Now, a lot of people are, well, which console do you go with? Do you go with, the Microsoft, the Xbox One, or do you go with the PS4? I know Microsoft got just bashed about the whole, with everything they had, with all the restrictions and everything. I don't want to get blasted by my, my followers on YouTube or any other viewers out there for other channels that stumble upon mine. I don't want to get the wrong idea. I didn't have a problem with it because naturally, guys, this is the way things are gonna go. With the rules that Microsoft has in place. Other people, us as collectors, we hate it, but the reality of the situation is this. Game systems are never meant to be, forever. They're not built to last forever. I mean, Super Nintendos deteriorate and crumble to dust, seriously. I mean, it's just, our privilege that we take these things in and we take care of them. It's our hobby. We clean them up, we preserve them. We have this community dedicated to the memories that we had with these machines, with these games. But that doesn't necessarily mean in the business world that that's what they have in mind. They don't have in mind that people are going to be doing this, for years and years and years. They're really just looking for. It's almost like the film industry now is where the game industry is. It's really all about like those first few weeks of sales on a game. That's the make or break deal. That's what they determine. Like that was a failure. That was a success. So you have to look at the business side of it. That game, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you can make a requirement for people to buy your games and play them on the console and hold them in a cloud storage. And yes, those servers will go out and we won't have our games anymore. That I fucking hate that idea. But I just know that that's where things will eventually go because the days of CDs are almost gone. Flash even is great, like the games on the Vita, but it's unnecessary. You don't need it. It's just, it gives you the illusion that you have something physical and tangible. But in all reality, these things, they're not made to last forever. They're made to kind of just entertain us for that time period. That's what the companies and publishers have in mind, is just selling. So the fact that they would make it, cloud storage and that you have to go there and buy your games, that saves on, the unnecessary pressing of CDs, the stupid cheap clamshells they add on that. And then arranging the shipping. They're not doing this all in one building. They have to have like all this stuff outsourced, and it involves all these different industries that are really kind of unnecessary when you're just selling games. And we, as the community of collectors and everything, have to keep in mind we're the minority of who they cater to. And I don't want to offend anyone here, but the truth of the matter is we are the ones that buy the games secondhand, or we buy the games on the cheap. We don't go to launch day and buy games unless it's how we really, really want. We wait till the games are $29.99, $19.99, and we buy them off Amazon, and we buy them off eBay, or we buy them at a garage sale, or whatever. That's what we look to do. and they're not catering to us with these. None of these companies, don't care what illusion they give you, all these companies want, they want to sell their consoles, because usually they take a loss on the consoles, but from what I understand with the architecture of these two, the Xbox and the PlayStation, they're like off the shelf components. So I'd actually swing a profit off these. Let's just say they break even on the consoles. You know, but by the time they pay the publishers and the developers and everything, there's only so much of the pie to go around. They want the bigger piece of that $59.99 pie. They don't want the smaller, hey, we didn't sell these units, let's brand them as special edition, or let's bundle them, let's put them a PlayStation 4 bundle or an Xbox One bundle. They don't want to do that. They want to sell them at full price and get the most money they can, and it's really all about those first few weeks of sales. So, did I like anything like that? No. Am I glad that it's gone? Yes. Am I going to sign a petition to bring it back? Fuck no. Who's going to do that? That petition has like 1,000 people that signed it. But as a collector, I'm a realist, and as I work in finance. I understand the business side of things, and I have to be realistic that I am not who the software developers, who the gaming industry is catering to. I might be a fan of it all, and I might love it, and we might take our time out of to post videos and whatnot, but sadly, those guys that just buy the sports games every year and buy every Call of Duty that comes out on launch day, and big blockbuster titles, they buy those day one and pay $59.99 for them every time. That's who they're going for. That's who they care about. And if those guys don't have to leave their fucking house, if they just hit a button and they've got the game, perfect. And yeah, some of those people do the trade thing and everything, but there's so much that could have been done with what Microsoft want to do that could have actually been positive, that we won't see that for a while. But mark my words, all the game companies, if Nintendo's still making consoles in the next few years, Sony, they all want that. They're going to go that way eventually. And just because they take this away now doesn't mean they can't bring it back. So a lot of people are skeptical of Microsoft, and rightfully so, but you should also be skeptical of Sony or Nintendo doing the same thing. They're really promoting the PlayStation Store. Nintendo's always promoted the shop at home, on the Wii Shop and everything. They've always really, really promoted that and made exclusives. There is no telling that in the course of these, sometimes in these life cycles, these consoles, that you don't see, that you see that they're like, we're not, these titles are exclusive to download only. If you want the extra downloadable content, the only way you can ever buy it is if you buy the download copy. You'll probably see things like that. So, be pissed off, but basically, I've said this on someone else's channel in a comment, hug your games, because the hobby that we know of is really, really trickling out. It's going to be more about, up until this generation of consoles is what we're going to be collecting and preserving and keeping. Doesn't mean there's not going to be great games, doesn't mean I'm going to keep buying whatever I'm playing it, but actually at the end of the day, it's probably going to be something more like devices and applications and things that can run in pretty much anything, rather than consoles even anymore. So, but that's my piece about the Microsoft rules and regulations. And I know a lot of people might be like, traitor, that I would do that, but I'm a realist and I just understand why they were doing it, and I do see the good and the bad of it. Now, most of the thing, I will say this, that a lot of those things, it's like, yeah, they don't have to press games anymore, they don't have to do this, they have cloud storage, we're not going to have our games forever, blah, blah, blah. A lot of those things aren't designed to make games cheaper for us, and if y'all notice that over the years, that's been the trend. Games have always, video games, the hobby of gaming has never been cheap. So, when you factor in inflation, it's like with the PlayStation 4, it's actually the cheapest PlayStation that's ever been launched. So, I don't think a lot of people are considering that, but it is true. In relation to, other launches, nothing is unique or very expensive about this one. The Xbox really isn't that expensive in comparison to, say, the price of, the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo. If you factor in inflation and look at the cost during that time, it's really not that expensive. But it's never gotten really the prices have always kind of stayed comparable, but we're getting less, if you notice. When you buy a game now, you don't get an instruction manual or anything like that. You get a crappy clamshell with some, just artwork that they barely put any thought into, because they don't have to sell with the game. When you walk into a GameStop, you know what you want. They don't have to sell with the cover box anymore. You go to GameStop, you're already like, okay, I want this. And up until the 90s, cover boxes were just like VHS. They at a video store, we go into the video store and you look at the cover box, read the back, and that's what you made your decision on, because internet was slow. There wasn't videos, trailers, or shareware was only limited to PCs. You didn't really have that many demos until we got into the CD age. Then you started having some demos of games and whatnot, but a lot of those weren't even interactive. They were just clips. So, as things move forward, we tend to get less, but it's all stayed relatively around the same price. I remember Atari Jaguar games, and I was a big Jaguar fan back in the day, and I put a lot of faith in that system. I remember Atari Jaguar games costing $69.99, and they fucking sucked. And you couldn't take them back, and you couldn't trade them. Who wanted them? There wasn't a market yet for the trading. So, their attempts to really stick to GameStop and places like that. I understand. GameStop, there's a lot of things about GameStop I don't like. The fact that they sell a game for full price. They, the people get their money like they're supposed to. GameStop, gets the sale. Well, they get it back in. They create their own little market. They pay someone, half of what it was worth. They sell it. They make $10. That $10 doesn't go back to any, to the publishers, the developers, the people who actually made the game. GameStop keeps it, and they actually give people incentives to come back to them and do that and keep doing that. And the other thing that GameStop really irritates me is that they will sell the last copy of something as new. When there's so many times to buy a new game, and I'm like, I want to buy this new. I don't want to buy it used. I pay full price for it. It's one off the shelf, and you all know that the GameStop employees can take the disc home and play it. So it's a used game. It's actually probably more used than a lot of the games that you buy, and you pay full price. So I have a big problem with that. But anyway, I know I'm kind of rambling here, so let me just get over to the PlayStation 4. I think the PlayStation 4, in my personal opinion, if you have to pick one, I think it's the way to go. I'm not just a Sony fanboy. I have both systems. I didn't have any particular loyalty to either one. I've had, I had a PlayStation 1 back in the day. My brother had a PlayStation 2. I never had an Xbox, but my roommate had an Xbox. So I didn't have any particular loyalty, but I will say that I just tend to like the Sony exclusives more. I like the PlayStation 3 more than I do the Xbox. The Xbox has been a piece of shit as far as hardware, high failure rate, and I know statistically that the PlayStation has a higher failure rate, but with me, the proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the system. I have a first generation PlayStation 3. It still works perfect, knock on wood. I don't have any to knock on. But out of the box, you got HDMI, Wi-Fi, just really, really cutting edge hardware. It's heavy as shit, it's a big system. But with the, the 360, you got, you didn't get HDMI. The controllers aren't Bluetooth like the PlayStation. The PlayStation PlayStation 3 also had Bluetooth compatible devices, headsets and whatnot. You could also install Linux on the fucking thing. I mean, the thing was basically a cheap supercomputer, and I didn't experience any problems with that. I had Red Ring of Death. I bought the Halo Reach edition, limited edition Xbox. Right after the fucking warranty wears out, the thing starts rattling. I mean, right after. And I don't even play it that much. It just goes to show. So I know a lot of you are just like, there's fanboys one way or another, but I'll just say I like the exclusives more on PlayStation 3. I just, typically of those systems, I like the PlayStation 3 more. I don't like the exclusive on the Xbox that much. I'm not really into Halo, and I think games like Gears of War fucking suck. To be honest, I don't like them. But that's to each their own. I like, Japanese RPGs and whatnot. So, as far as the reason why I'm shifting people more to the PlayStation 4 area this time, it just seems that Sony is thinking more about gamers. Microsoft's focusing more on that multimedia bullshit that we kind of went through in the 90s, where they're like, oh, this device does everything. I don't want it to do everything. I want it to fucking play games. I don't want it to have... If I had any gripes about the PlayStation 3, it was that you had, it had some features on it that I didn't like. The power button wasn't just a button. I want to turn something on. I want to hit a fucking switch or a button. I don't want to touch something and, like, oh shit, I just turned it off, or the disc is in, now I ejected it. Fuck, I didn't want to, I just want to push a button. I know that works. I play music, I have, guitar amps, and that's what I like about it. You turn, a switch on and you turn a knob to the right, and that's how you get things to work. So I would encourage people more on the PlayStation 4 side, to be honest, of the two systems. But for me, just so to be fair, I've already bought them both. Already pre-bought them, and already set the money aside, freed that up. So we shall see. This shall be an interesting year. But anyway, guys, I know it's just been a kind of rant and listening to my opinions about things. I didn't show off any pickups or games, but I will do that soon. I'll be posting up some other videos really soon. So anyway, YouTube, glad to be back, and I will be seeing you guys shortly. Later.